Welcome to BootSpy. My name's William. Today, we're talking about the Thursday Logger. I'm gonna talk about the leather quality, sole quality, fit and sizing, and ultimately, whether or not this boot is right for you. Let's get into it. Guys, thank you so much for joining me. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button down below. Also, give me a thumbs up. Both are super helpful for the channel. I really appreciate it. As I said today, we're talking about the Thursday Boots Logger. This is one of their newer models. This is made in the USA, so I'm pretty excited to check it out. It's the first Thursday boot that I've had that is made in the USA. The other ones are all made in their factory in Mexico. They also have the Vanguard line, which is very similar to the President. That's also made in the USA, so I believe that the Logger is made in the same factory, in the same process, but there are a few key differences, and let's get into them now. Looking at the Logger, it's very similar in shape and style to the Thursday Captain or the Thursday President. I do have reviews of both of those boots on my channel, and you can click a link up there. That's a comparison between those two boots. But yeah, as I said, very similar shape, very similar style, so I think they're built on the same last and they have the same form. But there are a few key differences. One of them is that the Logger has an 8-inch shaft instead of a 6-inch shaft. So it is taller in the ankle, comes up higher on your leg. And then it also has a way different outsole. This is the Vibram Fighter sole. So it's got heavy rubber lugs here. They have kind of the same standard heel cap. And I'll talk a little bit more about the specifics of the sole. But yes, it is a 360-degree Goodyear welted boot. It has no speed hooks and it has these nickel plated eyelets. At the time I'm filming this, the Logger comes in 3 different colors. It's the Arizona Adobe Matte Black. Both of those are rugged and resilient leathers that Thursday offers. You can find those in the Captain, the President, and maybe even the Chelsea boots. You can find them in a lot of Thursday boots. But the one that I picked up is the Horween Waxed Cocoa. I love the way it looks, and so it was so distinctive, so I had to pick it up. It's important to note before you buy the Thursday Logger, this is a city boot. Thursday boots, you know, you can wear this out when working, but I wouldn't wear, if you're whipping around a chainsaw, I probably wouldn't go with a Thursday boot. I consider this a lot more of a stylish, more fashionable boot based on the Logger style, but ultimately a city boot, more a fashionable boot. I don't know that it is appropriate for whipping around said chainsaws. Looking at the leather quality, I picked this up in the Horween Waxed Cocoa color. I love this leather, especially after wearing it about 15 to 20 times. It does have that T-core aspect where you can start to see it really begins to rough out. That wax starts to wear off a little bit, and the lighter, more natural hide color starts to wear through. That gives it such a distinctive look. I wore this camping last weekend and it was super rainy, super muddy, and these things didn't get waterlogged. They repelled a lot of the water. They're basically nearly waterproof. It felt that way. These aren't, rated to be waterproof or anything like that, and Thursday doesn't claim that they are. But for my purposes, I was out in like pretty pouring rain and was standing in the mud for like 6-7 hours. My feet were super dry at the end of the day. But yeah, so this leather held up really well to super tough conditions. It's also been patinaing really nice, and I love this T-core aspect to it. The Logger, like I said, comes in Arizona Adobe and Matte Black. I like the rugged and resilient lines, but this Horween Waxed Cocoa is kind of the next level. I'm a huge fan of it. Looking at the sole quality, this features a Vibram Fighter outsole. I love the heavy rubber lugs. It also has a rubber top lift or heel cap. This is kind of the same style as many other Thursday boots. And then it has the leather stacked Cuban heel. The Vibram Fighter outsole did super well in the rain and the mud. I hiked for about 5 or 6 miles last weekend and I did not slip at all. It was really great. It performs really well in wet and slippery conditions. My only issue with the outsole is really this top lift. It's that rubber heel cap. It's about 1/2 centimeter or 5 millimeters thick. And with that, it's pretty thin, especially for a boot that's this heavy. I think that within a year of regular wear, with most people's natural gait, that top lift is going to kind of wear in, wear down, get kind of slanty, and you really don't want to start wearing into the the leather heel of this, because that can create problems for your cobbler. It's a lot harder to repair the leather, the stacked leather heel portion, than it is to just take off the top lift and replace it. To get the right fit and sizing for the Thursday Loggers is a really simple proposition. you just get a half size smaller than you normally would for your sneakers. So if you're a size 11 in Nikes or any sort of sneaker shoe, go ahead and get a size 10.5 with the Thursday loggers. That's gonna fit really well. I'm a size 10.5 in sneakers, picked up the size 10, and I've had no issues with the fit and sizing. They fit perfectly, great for hikes, great for wearing around the city. So I'm happy with that. Looking at the break-in period, honestly, wasn't very tough. I was pretty surprised about that. The Horween Waxed Cocoa leather breaks in super easily. It's very soft right away, very flexible, very malleable. There's a leather lining in here, so I thought that might add a little bit to the break-in period around the heel, but it didn't at all. Super comfortable. There is a cork midsole, so my foot will continue to break into that and sink in, but really right away, these boots were comfortable from day one. And for the first, 10 to 15 miles, felt no blisters or anything like that. I was wearing pretty thick socks because that's kind of what the style calls for. So maybe that's why I didn't feel anything. But yeah, really break-in period, not tough at all. Here's my final verdict on the Thursday Logger. This boot does have some issues like the thin top lift or heel cap right there. That's gonna wear out a lot sooner than the rubber outsole or anything else on this boot. So that's gonna require a little bit of extra attention just to make sure it doesn't wear into the leather. Also, this boot being made in the USA, I was pretty surprised. It came with some loose stitches up at the top. These are purely cosmetic, so I didn't return it. But typically when we think of made in the USA, we think of higher quality. That wasn't really the case with the Thursday Logger compared to the other Thursday boots that I have from Mexico. I have 3 other pairs that are made in Mexico. They're basically perfect. And this one made in USA has some cosmetic stitching issues. So, take that for what it is. I don't know, just my experience. But ultimately, even with those issues, I still love the Thursday Logger. It takes a lot of the same sensibilities as the Captain and the President, that really rugged look, but keeps that slim, sleek profile, and it really amps it up. So I'm a fan of the Pacific Northwestern sort of workwear vibe. This really hits that while still staying stylish for me. I wear slim jeans, kind of more hipster style, so that works for me. It's not gonna work for people who go out logging, don't go whipping around chainsaws wearing these boots. These are more city boots. They're not so much work boots. But if you're like me, and you want to take that workwear aesthetic to the next level, then the Thursday Logger is a great boot. The Horween Waxed Cocoa leather is phenomenal, performs super well, even in the rain, in the mud. And I love the way it's been aging, that T-core, that natural hide coming through. It's just really cool, and I'm really excited to continue to wear these boots, break them in, and see how that leather really ages and develops over time. Guys, thank you so much for joining me. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up and also hit that subscribe button down below. Both are super helpful for the channel, and I really appreciate it. If you want to check out any other Thursday reviews, just check out these videos that are popping up right here. And until next time, put your best boot forward.